Alright, here we are in Hogwarts Legacy with a 5070 Ti. I've got a brand new camera here, so appreciate all of the support. It keeps me going. And I just wanted to remind you to please subscribe. We've got a lot of GPUs and a lot of games to go through. So if you don't want to miss anything, hit the bell and subscribe. It goes a long way. Alright, and just want to go through our settings here. Let me jump over to all of our presets are completely maxed out on Ultra. Ray tracing, again, completely maxed out. This game doesn't really do a lot whenever you enable ray tracing. I just wanted to enable it to kind of give you a maximum setting kind of scenario for this game. And I just want to come in, confirm we are at the 4K resolution. Our anti-aliasing, we'll make sure we're on DLAA for that. Upscaling type, none. We're not going to use any kind of DLSS right now. Our frame rate is not capped, and everything else down here is turned off. Alright, so with that said, let's just kind of fly around a little bit, and if I can orient myself here, the flying on this game is a bit cumbersome. Alright, so we are in the 30s. So again, I'm choosing to fly because it's a pretty fast method of travel here, and it gives you a pretty good sense of what you can expect. Let's go down here to the water, and I do have it modded so that I don't run out of any of the I guess broom boost, so we can always travel at a pretty good clip here. Everything looks really nice though. We're in the 40s, 36. So again, this is completely native at 4K. And our GPU is utilizing almost 12 gigs of VRAM. It's asking for 14, which is that top number on the VRAM with a little A. That's the allocated VRAM, and that's just what the game is asking the GPU to set aside so that it can use it quickly. This is a very pretty game though. It's one of my favorite games I've played. I've played it a lot. I beat it, and some of the detail and just the world itself is really beautiful. Got some pop in over here though, you know, that's kind of distracting, but let's just keep going up, fly around. We're getting some stutters, so let's just see what all we can do as far as helping it out. I got some glitches, so we're definitely gonna need to give it some help here to get that frame rate up and smooth it out. Alright, so let's jump into our settings, and let's go back over here. Upscale, let's go to DLSS. We are on an NVIDIA GPU, so that's a no-brainer. And let's just see what quality DLSS does, and not change anything else. Alright, we're up in the 50s, 46. Go down into these trees some and just kind of not try to knock myself out here. Go back over this water, get some of that to load in. 44, 47, 50. Again, just 4K with quality DLSS. Looks like it's doing pretty well when you're not up in the vegetation. It's touching 60, but then dropping right back down when we head over to this forest. Some effects, some fire. Get that to load in. Alright. Pretty good experience. It definitely helped it out, smoothed it out a lot. I would want to see a little bit more FPS, just to feel good about kicking that frame generation on. So let's see what we can do as far as that goes. But quality, let's go down to balanced, see if that does anything. Turn ray reconstruction on. That'll help a little bit. Alright. So it looks like 50s, 40s. I think that ray reconstruction kind of knocked it back down a hair. Our VRAM is allocated under 12 though. That's definitely a little bit better than we were doing with full native. So the only reason I call out the VRAM so much is because it probably has mattered more now than ever. A lot of games are really requiring some hefty VRAM. You know, it is important to make sure that the games you want to play are going to be under that VRAM requirement. As long as you got enough, you're fine, but when you start running out, that's the problem. Alright. And my 1% lows are low just because I think I sat on the pause screen for a little while. Alright. Let's fly over here. 40, 46, 45. Oh, I don't want to fight anyone right now. Okay. Let's see what we can do over here. Maybe you don't want to give up too much of your visual, and DLSS performance honestly looks like just as good as quality did on DLSS 3. There's some pretty thick vegetation here. Still not touching 60 though. That's like, damn, you know, like, hate to go to ultra performance. I mean, once we get out of those trees though, it definitely picks back up. So we're close enough to 60 most of the time where I would feel like I wouldn't want to beat up the graphics any more than this, and I feel like this would be a really good experience if you kicked on some frame generation. No. Let's go over here. Let's see, frame generation. There's your 2x, your 3x, and your 4x. So let's go 2x and try that out. This is the new multi-frame, so that gives us up to 97. That is really nice. Definitely can tell that it smoothed it out a good bit on my end. What you see on YouTube is unfortunately locked to 60 FPS, but you can definitely feel it on a high refresh monitor like this.
Loud as a troll you are.
Okay, yeah, let's get away from them. We're just doing a little benchmark test, lady. We don't want to fight you. Alright, so let's try. Let's go over here. And let's try the 3x. It's only going to be better, so I just want to check and make sure there's no ghosting and no weird artifacts, or, you know, I can see a little bit of ghosting around his hair, but honestly it's not very distracting unless you're right there on the side of it. So, you know, you gotta kind of know what to expect. Okay, let's go this way then. So that is frame gen on 3x, and let's go, and what the hell, we're here, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just see what 4x looks like. So 4x DLSS performance, everything is maxed. Pretty great experience, really. I mean, I expect this to be pretty high. Yeah, this is pretty nice frames here. You can see a little bit on the character model if you really pay attention to his hair and kind of like right around his back of his leg. You can see some little ghosting, but honestly it's not a big deal. I mean, people kind of get all bent out of shape over that, but it really doesn't matter to me a whole lot. I much prefer a nice frame rate with a smooth frame time graph than I do like the most perfect image, you know what I mean? So I mean, down in these trees and stuff, can fly through here. I'm so glad this game doesn't penalize you for going through branches and stuff. That would make it so much harder to fly. This is a pretty good experience. 5070 Ti, 4K. Kind of the wrap up. I'm just, you know, glad you hung out with me and we're flying around just checking out some scenery. And please subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell icon so you can get notified for my next video. And appreciate you helping me build this little community here. It means the world to me that you've taken the time to watch this video, and if you feel compelled to do so, a subscription is awesome. And with that, I will see you guys in the very next one. Take it easy. See ya.